September 12, 1958, 11:47 p.m. Big Sam wraps his fingers around the pistol. His hand is shaking. He's about to murder the man who calls him brother. The man who saved his life twice for $50,000. He aims at the back of Bumpy Johnson's head and pulls the trigger. Click. Nothing. What happens next will change the rules of power in Harlem forever. What's up, everyone? Before we dive into one of the most insane stories in criminal history, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe because we're dropping these deep dives every single week. Today we're talking about the night Bumpy Johnson, the king of Harlem, faced down a $50,000 hit contract from the Italian mob's 5 families. But here's the twist. Bumpy knew about the hit for 3 weeks. And what he did in those 3 weeks didn't just save his life. It became legendary. Let's get into it. To understand what happened that night, you need to understand who Bumpy Johnson really was. This wasn't just another gangster. Bumpy Johnson was Harlem's protector. By 1958, Harlem was under siege. The Italian mob, the 5 families, wanted control of the numbers racket. We're talking millions of dollars from poor folks betting nickels and dimes. And there was one man standing in their way: Bumpy Johnson. But here's what made Bumpy different. He didn't rule through fear alone. He ruled through respect. When Harlem families couldn't pay rent, Bumpy paid it. When police harassed black businesses, Bumpy made calls that made it stop. When Italian mobsters tried to muscle in, Bumpy sent them back in ambulances. The 5 families had tried everything. They sent enforcers. Bumpy hospitalized them. They tried negotiating. Bumpy told them Harlem wasn't for sale. They bribed politicians. Bumpy had better connections. By 1958, the families were desperate. And desperate men, they make dangerous decisions. Frank Costello, the most powerful mob boss in New York, calls an emergency meeting. All 5 families send representatives. The topic: the Bumpy Johnson problem. Costello leans forward and says, "We've tried force, we've tried money, we've tried politics. Nothing works. This man is untouchable." "So what do you suggest?" Carlo Gambino asks. Costello smiles. "We make him touchable. We find the one person he trusts completely, and we turn them." That's when someone mentions Big Sam. Samuel Big Sam Foster, 6'4", 260 pounds of pure muscle and loyalty. He'd been with Bumpy for 5 years, taken bullets for him twice, been there when Bumpy's mother died. If anyone could get close enough to kill Bumpy Johnson, it was Big Sam. August 20th, 1958, 3 weeks before the shooting. Big Sam is leaving his apartment when a black Cadillac pulls up. Tony, the collector Maroney, sits in the back seat, smiling. "Sam, right? Big Sam, get in, 5 minutes, hear me out." Sam should have walked away. But curiosity is a dangerous thing. He gets in the car. Tony opens a briefcase, neat stacks of $100 bills. $50,000, enough to pay every medical bill for your sick daughter. Enough to move your family somewhere safe. See, Sam's youngest daughter, Kesha, had tuberculosis. The hospital bills were crushing him. He'd asked Bumpy for help, and Bumpy gave him $2,000, but it wasn't enough. It was never enough. "What do you want?" Sam asks, though he already knows. "One bullet, one moment. September 12th at Lennox Lounge. Quick, clean, then you disappear. New identities. By morning, you're in Miami. By next week, you're someone else entirely." Sam stares at the money, his daughter's life, his family's future. "And if I say no?" Tony's smile fades. "Then your daughter dies slowly in that charity ward. And you? You keep watching your back until a bullet finds you." Sam gets out without saying a word, but the briefcase stays with him. 3 days later, Sam makes the call. "I'm in." Here's what Big Sam didn't know. Here's what Tony Maroney didn't know. Bumpy Johnson already knew. See, Bumpy didn't become king by trusting people. He became king by knowing people. Bumpy had eyes everywhere. Bartenders, shoeshine boys, cab drivers, people nobody noticed. A parking attendant named Jerome saw Tony's Cadillac pull up outside Sam's apartment. He wrote down the license plate. 2 hours later, Jerome is in Bumpy's office. Tony Maroney's car, Parked outside Big Sam's place this morning. Bumpy looks at the paper, hands Jerome $500 and says, "You didn't see anything, understand?" Now Bumpy could have killed Sam right then. One phone call and Sam disappears into the East River. That's what most men would have done, but Bumpy Johnson wasn't most men. Over the next 3 weeks, Bumpy watched Sam. He saw the man struggling with an impossible choice, loyalty or survival, and Bumpy made a decision. He wouldn't kill Sam. He'd teach him. Bumpy calls a gunsmith in Brooklyn named Victor. "I need you to make me a gun that doesn't work. Looks perfect, feels perfect, but when you pull the trigger, nothing happens." Within 3 days, Victor delivers a modified .38 Special. Same weight, same feel, completely inoperable. Now comes the genius part. Bumpy sends Sam on an errand across town, 3 hours minimum. While Sam's gone, Bumpy enters his apartment and swaps Sam's real gun with the dummy. Sam would never know the difference. Now Bumpy just had to wait. He had to let Sam make his move. Let him commit. Let him pull that trigger in front of witnesses. Because the message wouldn't just be for Sam. It would be for all of Harlem. For the 5 families. You can't kill Bumpy Johnson because Bumpy Johnson is always 3 moves ahead. September 12, 1958. 11:47 p.m. Lennox Lounge. The club is packed. 300 people. Musicians, hustlers, businessmen, politicians. This is Harlem on a Friday night. Bumpy's at his corner table talking to 2 city council men. Grey suit, trademark fedora. Untouched glass of Hennessy. Big Sam arrives at 11:30. He's been drinking, not drunk, but enough to steady his nerves. In his jacket pocket, the .38 Special. The gun he thinks will make him $50,000 richer. Sam positions himself near the bar. Watching, waiting. Bumpy has his back turned. Vulnerable. At 11:47, Sam makes his move. He walks through the crowd, hand inside his jacket, gripping the pistol. Nobody notices. Sam's always near Bumpy. He's the bodyguard, 6 feet away, then 4, then 2. Sam draws the gun. The bartender sees it first, eyes wide. But before he can shout, Sam has already aimed at the back of Bumpy's head and pulled the trigger. Click. The sound of a firing pin hitting nothing echoes through that suddenly silent room. The jazz band stops mid-note. Conversations die mid-sentence. 300 people turn to look at Big Sam, standing there with a useless gun in his shaking hand. And Bumpy Johnson, sitting calmly, not even flinching. Bumpy takes a slow sip of his cognac, sets the glass down gently, turns around in his chair. He looks at Sam, just looks at him. And in that look is something more terrifying than anger. It's disappointment. "I've been counting on you." Those 5 words hit Sam harder than any bullet. Because in that moment, Sam understands. Bumpy had known. He'd known everything. The approach from Tony, the $50,000, the plan, all of it. And instead of killing Sam, Bumpy let him walk into this room and pull that trigger. Let him reveal himself to 300 witnesses. Let him destroy his own reputation, his own honor, in front of the entire community. Sam's gun clatters to the floor. His legs give out. He sinks to his knees. "I'm sorry. God, Bumpy, I'm sorry. My daughter." "I know about your daughter," Bumpy interrupts, his voice quiet but carrying through the silent room. "I've known for 6 months. You think I don't take care of my people?" Bumpy reaches into his jacket, pulls out an envelope, drops it on the table. "Kesha's medical bills, all of them, paid in full this morning. There's also a check for $5,000 for your family." Sam's eyes fill with tears. "But why didn't you tell me?" "Because I needed to know. I needed to know if you'd choose money over loyalty. If you'd choose their $50,000 over our brotherhood." "Now I know." Bumpy stands up. He's not a tall man, 5'9", but in that moment he seems 10 feet tall. "You're going to leave Harlem tonight, take your family and disappear. I don't care where. But if I ever see your face again, if I ever hear your name again, there won't be a second chance. Do you understand?" Sam nods, tears streaming down his face. "And Sam?" Bumpy's voice drops even lower. "When the Italians ask you what happened here tonight, you tell them exactly what you saw. You tell them Bumpy Johnson knew. You tell them he's always known. You tell them they can't buy loyalty in Harlem. And you tell them if they ever try something like this again, I won't be this merciful. Sam stands on shaking legs, picks up his useless gun, and walks out of Lennox Lounge. He leaves New York that night. Never returns. The last anyone heard, he was working construction in Detroit. A broken man carrying the weight of his betrayal for the rest of his life. After Sam leaves, Bumpy turns to face the room. 300 people stare at him in silence. They just witnessed something impossible. Let me make something clear, Bumpy says, his voice carrying to every corner. The Italians think they can buy us. They think they can divide us. They think they can take Harlem because we're poor, because we're black, because we don't matter. He picks up his cognac glass. They're wrong. Harlem isn't for sale. It never was. It never will be. And anyone who thinks they can walk into my neighborhood and buy my people, they're going to learn what Big Sam just learned. We're not the ones who need protection. They are. Bumpy raises his glass to Harlem and to loyalty that can't be bought. 300 people raise their glasses. To Harlem. The jazz band starts playing again. Conversations resume. Within minutes, it's as if nothing happened. Except everything had happened. Word spread through New York's underworld like wildfire. By morning, every mobster from Boston to Baltimore knew the story. Bumpy Johnson had known about the hit for 3 weeks. He'd let it play out. He'd made a traitor reveal himself in front of 300 witnesses. And he'd done it all without spilling a drop of blood. The 5 families called an emergency meeting the next day. Frank Costello was furious, but Carlo Gambino, he saw something else. We can't beat this man, Gambino said quietly. We've tried everything. Every time we move against him, he's already seen it coming. So what do? Costello demanded. Gambino lit a cigar. We leave Harlem alone. It belongs to Bumpy Johnson. And trying to take it from him is just going to cost us more money and more men. It was the first time the 5 families had ever backed down from a territorial dispute. But they had no choice. Bumpy Johnson had proven something that night at Lennox Lounge. He wasn't just a gangster. He was a strategist. A chess player who saw 10 moves ahead. And you don't play chess with a grandmaster unless you're ready to lose. Bumpy Johnson lived another 10 years after that night. He died in 1968, not from a bullet, but from a heart attack. Ironically, in the same Lennox Lounge where he'd faced down Big Sam. But here's the thing that most people miss. The most dangerous weapon isn't a gun. It's knowing what's coming before your enemy does. It's turning their plan into your victory. It's playing chess while they're still learning checkers. Big Sam took $50,000 from the mob and left New York with nothing but shame. And Bumpy? He went back to his corner table, finished his cognac, and kept being the king of Harlem. So here's my question for you. Could Bumpy have handled this differently? Would you have let Sam walk out alive? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this story got you hyped, smash that like button. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We're dropping stories like this every single week, and trust me, the next one is even crazier. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss when we tell the story of how Bumpy Johnson walked into Lucky Luciano's office unarmed and walked out with the deal of the century. Remember, in Harlem, respect wasn't given, it was earned. And Bumpy Johnson earned his every single day. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.